Today I'm going to be discussing how I knew that I was trans. If you yourself are questioning if you're trans and you're here expecting me to give you like a checklist, like you might be trans if you do this, or if you feel like this, or if you look like this, or if you like this, unfortunately there is no such thing as a checklist. I can't tell you that you're trans. No one can tell you who you are except for yourself. And that makes it a lot more difficult, but it's the way it is. And yeah, so for me personally, it was a pretty confusing journey for me and the people around me, because I went through like a roller coaster of different identities and sexualities, and it didn't really click at first. The male identity, at first, I just felt disconnected from it, and it was just felt just not right at first. I'll start with how my childhood was growing up as a female. I didn't really display a lot of masculine traits as a child. I didn't really play with girly toys, but I didn't really play with boy toys either. I really liked stuffed animals, and I really liked to color, and I did have a dollhouse. The most girly thing that I had, that I actually enjoyed playing with, was a dollhouse. I did say a lot, I want to be a boy, so that should have been a red flag, but no one really thought anything of it. I was very opposed to wearing dresses and dressing up. I really liked striped polos when I was like in elementary school. I had so many striped polos. I did have like imaginary friends when I was young, and all of them were male. I just kind of pictured myself to grow up to be a man, and I didn't think anything was wrong with that. I didn't actually start questioning my identity until middle school, which is always a fun time. I think in 7th grade, I thought that I was bisexual. This was most likely because I felt like a guy. And because of that, I pictured myself dating girls and having girlfriends. Like, when I pictured myself dating girls, I didn't really picture it as like a lesbian relationship. I thought of it more like it would work like a straight relationship. I would be the guy. I never really had actual crushes on girls, so I just thought, oh, well, if I think that a girl's really pretty, that must mean that I'm bisexual. In 8th grade, I chopped off all of my hair, and I had like a Justin Bieber type haircut, and I thought it looked awesome. I thought I looked super hot. I started dressing more masculinely. I acted a lot more masculinely. I used to like ride my skateboard. I was really into like rap music. That was quite a strange phase that I went through. But still, I wasn't questioning my gender yet. I barely knew what transgender was. I think I learned around that time, and I just kind of thought like, oh, that's interesting. And then I went into high school, and wow, that was quite a transition for me in terms of who I presented myself as. I grew my hair out, I dyed my hair red, I wore makeup like every single day. I wore dresses, I just was very girly. I flirted with guys, I had boyfriends, I was just super, that was my girly phase. I went from my masculine phase to my girly phase, but I still was not myself. I was kind of just doing that so that boys would like me, to be honest. It's pretty sad, but yeah. I think freshman year I still was questioning if I was bisexual or not. I was questioning my sexuality for a very long time. And as far as my gender, I think it started at like the end of my freshman year, when I found out about a term called genderqueer. When I found out about this, I felt like that was definitely me, because I know I really like wearing men's clothes. The clothing thing was big for me. I started coming home and putting on my mom's blazer and some like just androgynous looking dress shirts, because that's all I had at the time. I didn't really have any menswear, but I would try to like pull stuff together to make it look manly, and I would look in the mirror and just stare at myself because I thought I looked so good. And that's when I got a really, really, really overwhelmingly strong urge to cut my hair off again. I think that's when I started questioning my gender, when I realized that I wanted to cut my hair again, because it was so strong. It was such a strong just need. I needed to do it. I just felt awful. But then I was wondering, like, why do I need to do this so bad? And I guess that's when I started to get really confused. When I found out about the term genderqueer, I started identifying it as that for about a year and a half. I was still okay with dressing femininely, and when I would put on makeup, I thought that I looked really pretty, and, you know, I didn't really have a problem with it. But around October of 2014, I was kind of going between, like, identifying as a girl and non-binary, but I started cross-dressing in public. And that was a big step for me. I never cross-dressed in public. I would wear kind of just casual clothes, or I would still wear makeup all the time. On Halloween of my junior year, I wore a bow tie and a white button-up shirt and a cardigan and some loosely fitting pants and some just dress shoes, and I wore that as a joke. And it was terrifying. Like, it's crazy how terrifying that was. Like, I go out in public dressed as a guy every single day. Like, I don't even wear girl clothes anymore. I never wear makeup. I'm gonna wear a suit to my next homecoming, and wearing that, just a bow tie, was like so scary. Like, I felt like people were staring at me and thought that I was really strange, and that was like a big deal for me. So I started labeling myself as a cross-dresser. I found out what my sexuality was. I like guys. And so I figured, okay, just push this whole gender thing aside. It's so much easier to identify as a straight girl. Just leave it alone. You're a straight girl. Just live your life, wear whatever you want, it's fine. And that was a comforting thing, because it is easier being a straight girl. The way I felt about my gender has never really changed. The way I have felt inside, because gender's up here, it's always been the same. I've always pictured myself as a guy. I always felt like I wanted to be charismatic and charming. I went to YouTube and I watched people's videos and I started really educating myself about it. The thought of actually going with it and, like, coming out, it was terrifying. I pushed off doing it for a long time because the thought of somebody calling me a he and a guy, you know, you'll hear a lot of, like, FTMs saying, okay, well, as soon as somebody referred to me as he, it just felt right. It just clicked immediately. That was not my situation at all. I did not know what my pronouns wanted to be. I didn't like they, so I just stuck with she, but soon enough, she started to not feel right. So, when did I actually come out? I came out on April 8th, 3 months ago, 2015, and it was terrifying. I feel a lot more comfortable with people using he. It feels wrong when people refer to me as a girl. I'm still in the closet at work. I just recently came out to my family. But my friends and, you know, other people in my life are giving me a lot of support and calling me he and working on changing their language with me. And I really do appreciate that a lot. I guess the main thing that was holding me back from coming out and realizing who I really am was because I did not fit the stereotypical mold of what a man should be. But gender is such a personal thing, you know? It all depends on you. Most of the stuff that, you know, we think make someone a boy or a girl, it's all made up by other people. It's all stuff that you're taught. I hope that explained how I came to the realization. I hope this helped you if you're questioning, to know that it's okay to be unsure at first. I think I covered everything. Okay. I'll talk to you later. I still don't know how to end videos. See you next time.